Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. Now you know. 205-964-5243. Now you know.
Boom, good afternoon. Today's daily live wholesaling real estate without using your cash or credit. We're here to talk about real estate investing where there's no barrier to entry, meaning you don't have to have the cash, whether you got it or not. Credit doesn't have to be great, whether it's 450 or 850. It won't matter. We're here to educate you on the process of wholesaling real estate. And today's topic, which is the number one question we get every day, where to start? What should I do first? So we'll get to answering that question later on. So everyone that's in the chat, you got questions. Hopefully we got answers. And I want to start something new here. Probably see it a lot on TikTok and whatever. So when you get paid, and people reach out to me often saying thanks or whatever, and I've never even talked to them before, so that's why I have very little patience with people when they don't want to take advantage of all this free content I put out there, because they're no smarter than you are. I know I'm not. What's the difference? They took advantage of the information and changed their financial situation, or at least send it in that direction. So when you get paid, or you just want to send a shout out, just say, and this comes from, let me get a backstory on this. One of my friends, he died back in January of 1998. Really good friend, was devastated. Just died overnight, in his sleep. But he always used to have this thing he used to say when we got paid, because that's how we met on the job. Got my check, Tyrone. And so send me a text, DM me, whatever. Got my check, and hey, we'll put you out there, whatever. So, but got my check, Tyrone. So yeah, so we got questions, we got answers.
Yeah, everyone's just saying hello right now.
Yeah, so while y'all waiting, I posted a video today, and really it was a highlight of one of the other videos, cold calling versus text messaging. So if you go to my channel, and you can check that out later, or you just text me, say, hey, send me the new video link. Send me the video to the new, what is that? Oh, that's just the phone number. Oh, y'all, oh, they real funny. We got a caveman's teleprompter with the phone number, because they assume that I don't know it. You all are brilliant. Okay, I see what we're doing now. Okay, that's what we're doing now, as they say. So yeah, if you want to partner with me on some deals, especially self-storage, text the word units to the 205-964-5243. Text the word units to the number, and let's get it. So make sure you like and subscribe this. If you don't do anything else, right, share it. Like it too, but share it is even better. If you can't do both, you got to choose between one. Just share it. Maybe you can help someone else, at least get them inspired or interested in some money. But man, I need no money. I don't care about it. That's fine. But send it to somebody that about that hustle, about getting a check. Got my check.
All right, so everyone's saying hello, good afternoon. This one says I need to get to the bag for sure. This one's from YouTube. He says, shout out to wholesalers. As a former motivated seller, wholesalers will get you out of some ish. Plus, they are easier to work with than agents.
Oh, wow. What an interesting comment.
Notice we didn't say it.
Wow. Okay. So that like dang. Well, I guess he was sitting at a closing, probably. If you can elaborate, JB 3-5 years. Am I saying that right?
I don't know. That's why I
JB,
ain't
35
saying
years. Oh, I get it. JB, whatever his name is, for 35 years. Now, you do know if you continue on, 35 is going to change. So maybe something else. Maybe that JB stands for something else that identifies 35 years. But I guess he was sitting at a closing and he was like, what just happened here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what just happened here? And if you will, if you know what the wholesaler made on the deal, let us know that also. But that's an interesting comment. Who's next?
Let's see. This one says, "Rest in peace to your friend."
Oh yeah, JB, man, Jared Browning. Woo, that was my boy, one of the smartest people I've ever met. And I'm not just saying that because he's not here anymore. And he was sort of, that was in the the mid 90s. He was sort of I think he had already ordered the Carlton Sheets thing, but he didn't ever do anything with it. We was in our 20s, and he introduced me to Nicky's. Y'all know I love Nicky's. So that's how long I've been going to Nicky's. That's why those guys know me when I go in there. I've been going there that long. He introduced me to my first trip to the casino. I might not. I may not. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Oh, hey, he introduced me to the casino. Oh man, boy, it's tough. But anyway,
All right.
JP.
This one says, "Signing up with you tonight for that prop stream. Just ended my other subscription and we'll be trying to get training through your platform."
Boom, let's get it. Text the word time to the number so we can get you scheduled and trained up, man.
All right, this one came from Facebook. They said, "What about a house that was halfway burned? Can they still wholesale?"
What if a house is fire damaged? Okay, there's going to be different levels of fire damage. Sometimes they are not rehabable. Is that a word? Renovatable. Is that a word? Fixable. Fixable is a word? Okay, all right. Dealator is not a word either, but boom. You know what I'm saying? There it is. All right, so it all depends on how bad it's burnt. Sometimes it's just a tear down, more so. And so it's just hard for me to say that. But when you say halfway burned, normally that means it's probably gonna have to be torn down and just started back up. Hopefully it's in a neighborhood where that makes sense. Because sometimes it only may be a $70,000, $80,000 neighborhood, but the construction easily could be over 100 or whatever. So, but to answer the question, so it just depends on. At the end of the day, it's still just repairs. Period. Now, if it's in a $500,000 neighborhood and the construction is 300,000, even 400,000, it's a no-brainer at that point. So that it would be worth it, to demo the property and start with a new construction.
All right, we're on Instagram. Hey Ty, do you buy in Indianapolis?
In Indianapolis?
Mm-hmm.
That's hard for me to say. Yeah, we would do something definitely in Indy. Yes. So if you want to partner on the what we call it, on houses, text 5050 to the number 5050 to 205, since they've been so smart. 964-5243. Who thought of that?
All right. Do you call and or text numbers if they are on do not call?
You don't supposed to.
But you answered the question.
That is the answer. That is the answer. You don't supposed to. You don't supposed to.
All right. Let me see. All right. This is also.
You can send them something in the mail though. There's no login stat.
All right. This is also on Instagram. Do you mentor? I'm guessing they mean one-on-one.
Is that a trick question? Yeah, we do have an option. Well, that's a paid option. So just text me, and I'll be happy to send you some info.
All right, this person has a house under contract on TikTok. But they need a buyer for it.
A house under contract on TikTok?
Yes.
Yeah. So again, what you'll do is just text the numbers 5050 to the phone number 205. I'm sorry. Yeah, 205-964-5243. And we'll explain how that works. The video will explain how that works.
All right. This is a question that we're going to go over, but they asked, how does wholesaling work?
Okay, well, the title of this particular video is Where Do I Start? So it's really not the question as far as how wholesaling works, so I'll answer that one. Okay, so because I'm assuming this may be your first introduction to wholesaling, welcome. All right, so basically, let me just do the short version, I'll do a little more extended version. Basically, you're finding a great real estate deal, tying it up on the contract, and selling that contract to somebody that has the money. Right? And they're going to pay you a fee basically to move out of the way. Now, sometimes that fee may be 4 figures, 5, 6, it could be 7. There's no limit on it or whatever, depending on the deal. So how does it work? You find a vacant house, all right? You determine what the address is. Once you determine the address, you can determine who owns it. You can skip trace that information. Skip tracing basically means there's some softwares out there. You put their name, the property address, the mailing address into that tool, and it'll give you their phone number in a lot of cases. Assuming that information is correct, you call them. Hi, my name is Ty. I'm looking for the owner. Hi, my name is Ty. I'm looking for the owner to speak to them about buying. I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Ty. I'm trying to reach the owner about buying their property at 123 Main Street. Do I have the right person? Assuming they say yes, you all talk, blah, blah, blah. You do the numbers. There is a formula on determining whether you have a great deal or not based on what the house will appraise for in excellent condition. They call that ARV, or short for after repair value. And what are the repair costs on it? Got videos explain all of that. Assuming all that works. So now you all agree on a price that works for you and works for them. So now you go on the contract with that person. When I say a contract, I mean a purchase and sales agreement. All real estate transactions start with that, whether it's a $10,000 property or a $10 million property, it doesn't matter. They all start with a purchase and sales agreement. So once you have that purchase and sales agreement, it doesn't give you ownership. It does give you some say-so on how that property, when that property is sold, based on the terms and the time frame that you and the seller have agreed upon to close on the property. In that time frame between that date that you sign and the date you say you're going to buy it, as long as that contract says you can't assign it, you can assign that contract, your rights over to that contract, over to someone for a fee. They call that an assignment fee or an assignment of contract. That fee, again, can be 4 figures, 5 figures, 6, it doesn't matter. So that's where a cash buyer comes in. So you may have the property on the contract at, we'll say, $100,000. You market that contract or that deal for $125,000. Someone steps to you, may have had a lot of interest in it and say, hey, I'm not comfortable paying $125. Would you accept $118 for it? So you have an opportunity there, what appears to be to me, a contract for $100,000 and then another contract at $118,000 with the buyer. So contract A with the seller for $100,000, contract B with the buyer for $118,000. Guess what? You're just in the middle of that transaction where you can get the difference, which is $18,000. So you set up a closing with a title company or a closing attorney, depending on the state, and boom, that's how you get paid. Rinse and repeat. You do that as much as you want to, and there's no limit on that. So that's an $18,000 payday. So you haven't actually spent any money per se to purchase the property, or your credit was never used to purchase the property. And that's how you get paid. So that's what we're here talking about. You got a lot of questions probably now. So that's what we're here to fill in the holes.
All right. This one came from Dizzle on YouTube. They said, man, cold calling can be a drag. I don't have the funds for any other marketing. How do I stay motivated? Yeah,
it could be a total drag, man. The only thing that I can tell you, I don't know what your situation is. what your who depends on you for income. It just may be you, but just look at it as you only need one to close. A couple of things are going to happen in between that, getting to that first deal and closing the deal. Is that number one, you're going to learn how to do it effectively. If you're going to have a good idea, even if it's just on one deal. And from that one deal, now you can hire a VA, a virtual assistant. In countries like the Philippines, I guess Pakistan, maybe India, just countries where our currency is valued a lot higher than theirs. So you paying them $100, well, what it would normally cost you to pay probably about someone maybe $600 to do, they may do it for $100, right? And that may be cold calling, and they'll sit there and just pound out calls all day for you, and you may only be out a couple $100 a week, and you've gotten 40 hours out of them. So now what you were doing as far as cold calling, they're sitting there pounding it out. They have no emotional attachment. They know that if they continue to make those calls and you're making money from it, they're going to continue to get paid. So their feelings are not going to be hurt like mine and maybe yours is when somebody call you an MF or don't call me again if I find you, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'm done for the day. I'm ready to go get in the fetal position. So, but other people not. Or what you could do is, before you even get to that point, why not partner with someone? That's part of what the video I put out today. I think I said that. We all know someone that, number one, they may be looking for an opportunity, but match up with that they love talking to people, and rejection doesn't discourage them. That means if someone tells them no, that simply means, oh, you didn't understand what I just said. Let me say it another way. We all know people like that. They call it gift of gab or whatever, but their gift of gab is only just for foolishness. Give them something to use it where they can actually make some money with it. And a lot of times people just don't have an opportunity to use that God-given skill of running their mouth to generate some income. So that's what I would suggest. Obviously you say you don't have the money for the VA right now. So somebody like that, probably know several people like that. You may have to go through one or two of them or three of them before you get someone that you all are partnering up, so that's all I got to say about that. Who's next?
All right. This one came from Sheree Owens on YouTube. Either Sheree or Cherie. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong.
I'm going to go with Ree.
Cherie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? This one says, I found a property that I believe is good for wholesaling. What would be my first step? Contact the seller or find an investor?
Contact the seller. You have no deal unless you have it under contract. The worst thing you want to do is you contact an investor, tell them about it, and you never hear from them again. Next thing you know, they over there renovating.
All right. This is on Instagram. Where and how do I obtain foreclosure lists?
Depending on the county that you're targeting, it may be as simple as just reaching out to the county and they have that information as public record, easily accessible online. All of it is normally public, but easily accessible online. So that's the first option that I'll just call the county, try to find wherever the department handles that, and see if there's something online that you can look up. If that's not the situation, there are going to be some paid services out there that offer it. But even with Zillow, I think if you filter it, if you go to Zillow, there's going to be a filter there to look up foreclosures in pretty much any market. But it's only going to be as accurate and as current as how that information is provided to the public and data services such as Zillow and PropStream. So I'm just giving you the free ways of accomplishing that. Now, with foreclosures, what's your end game with the foreclosure? Now, I know you hear the word and you automatically assume that it's a great deal. That doesn't mean that. This is not 1991, right? It doesn't mean that you're the only one that's going to know about it. They're a highly competitive list. A lot of people target it because that's the first thing people think about when they think about real estate deals is foreclosures. It's rare you hear me talk about targeting those because I try to give anyone that's watching me, but I assume that most people that are watching me, either they haven't done deals or they've done very few. So I try to give you the path as much as possible to the easiest payday possible. So you can hit me up saying, got my check, Tyrone. Maybe it should say, got my check, Flip Man, since that's what you know me by. So I don't want to let y'all use what JB would do.
All right. This was a part of the question from earlier. They said what software? I think they was referring to PropStream.
Yeah. If you text the word tool, TOOL to the 205-964-5243, you can sign up there. It just takes you basic sense. It really don't tell you anything. A good video of mine. You can just go to deallater.com, and I need to do an updated video, but it's still good, still relevant. Just look up. You'll see on the front page top 10 ways to use the best real estate tool, and just watch that video. Or you can text the word text to the 205-964-5243. Or you can text the letters ARV. That video will tell you, or your text will help you out. You can text the letter GD. That also will give you some instructions on how to use it. So,
all right, this is on TikTok. How do you find vacant properties?
Well, you can, physically, you can to find. Okay, how do you find vacant properties? Physically, you can just drive around and let your eyeballs do the work for you. You know, just identifying what's obviously vacant, boarded up, hide grass, which that may not be the case right now because it's winter, so you can't really go. You may not be able to go by the lawn care as much. Broken out windows, obviously fire damage, which normally means that no one lives there. You may see mail piled up in the mailbox. It may be obvious from the street just driving by. You may see mail on the front porch or the steps, like old phone books, or I don't even think they deliver phone books anymore, do they? I think they finally gave up, didn't they?
I think you still buy them somewhere, but I don't think it.
They finally gave up. Wow.
I used to see it.
They probably went at least 10 years longer than what they should have. At least. A lot of y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay, we have this thing that.
They do know what
Like the yellow page. A lot of these people don't know what a yellow pages is. I can assure you it's some 18.
They still show that in movies though.
Huh?
They still show that stuff in movies. Like even if
you probably just go right over your head, like, what is that? Well, I say that, you know what, I may be wrong on that, because even if you're 20 now, when you were 10, you still seen the yellow pages. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm wrong. The audience ain't that young. Okay.
I was gonna say, grandma still got them old phone books, and
that may be just a Southern thing. I don't know. But y'all tell me if I'm wrong or not. Does anyone know when I say the word yellow pages, do they know what I'm talking about? Don't know what I'm talking about. So anyway, where I was at, what was I going? About the vacant house. So you may see mail piled up on the steps also. And so that's the simple thing you can do. It's just only going to cost you gas money. Now you can build vacant list using a tool such as Deallator, aka PropStream. I need to do a video on that too. I said I was, but coming into the new year on how to build different lists. But if you go to if you text the word text in that video, I somewhat go through that. I explain some of that in there. You text the word text to the 205-964-5243. The first part of that video, I explain how to build lists, and building vacant list is an option. Now, you can build all types of lists and targeting, for whatever particular niche, however they say it, that you like. But I don't care if it's vacant or not. I just want the seller to be motivated to sell. Now, I prefer it to be vacant, but it's not a deal breaker that it's not. Done tons of deal with people living there, whether the owner or someone renting or whatever situation is. So.
All right, this is on TikTok as well. I may have missed it. Can you please explain where I can get the contracts to give to the seller?
You have missed. This must be your first. Hey, this must be your first time watching me. But when I say that I literally give all the information away, I'm real. I'm FR. That's right. For real. Yeah. Look at Jess. I got her. I got her. Hey, but really, really, you can get the contract. Plus, I also explain how to fill it out for sellers and cash buyers. Text the word contract to the number 205-964-5243, and you will thank me later.
All right, this person on TikTok asks, can I build on a duplex that I'm looking into?
Can he do what?
Build on a duplex.
Build on it?
Mhm.
I'm not sure what you mean, build on it, if you can elaborate for us.
All right. Do I need to set up an LLC before I have the seller sign the contract?
Well, you are running a business. Do you need an LLC to start this business? Do you need an LLC to start wholesaling? You are running a business, but sometimes individuals don't have the budget to start generating leads and to establish an LLC, which doesn't cost that much, especially if you're going to do it yourself. You don't need it to start, and do a deal is not going to kill you tax-wise or whatever to do maybe a deal or two in your name. But after that first deal, go ahead and get it into motion. Now, even if you have the resources to do the marketing and the LLC at the same time, and that's not an issue as far as your budget to start your business, then just go ahead and get the LLC in motion, right? Which only normally takes a week or two to get it established, depending on where you're located. And even if you have to put a deal in your name, go ahead and just do it. But if you have the LLC in motion, you can still just go ahead and put the LLC on the contract, because by the time you close on it, you should have it set up and be able to establish your bank accounts and whatever. So,
And all that jazz.
yes.
Okay, this one is from Patrick Franklin on YouTube. He said, can you wholesale land? I have someone who's selling 3 acres of land. Can I still go through the same process as if it was a house?
Can you wholesale land? And yes, you can. I actually land in some ways it's easier than houses, because unless it's gated or fenced up, the door is always open. So now you don't have to show it unless the land is like next door to the owner. You might not want people just showing up then, but if it's not next door to the owner or whatever, then boom. But the only thing with land, he said 3 acres, it's hard to sometimes come up with an actual, what's the true value of it as is. And so without knowing that, how do you know if you have a good deal or not? That's the only thing. So a lot of times land is not enough transactions to compare it to. The reason that we can wholesale houses, one of the main reasons that we can wholesale houses, and one of the main reasons people don't ever succeed at it, is because they never figure out what the ARV is on a house. What is the house worth after it's been renovated, after repair value, or what will it appraise for once it's fixed up? So with land, if you don't have anything to compare it to, there's no development in there. There's not a lot of transactions for people buying and selling. So how do you know what the real value of it is? You don't have anything to compare it to. So now that makes it a little bit more difficult in order for you to know if you actually have a deal or not. So, but to answer the question, yeah, once you have a contract on it with a seller and a contract with a buyer at a higher price, the second contract, yeah, it still works the same as a house. You still go through the same process, but just getting to that point is what's different.
All right, this one is from Joel on YouTube. They said, do sellers get upset or back out of a deal when they see how much the wholesaler is earning on the transaction?
All right, Joel is asking, will a seller get mad at you because of how much money you're going to make on a deal? It's always possible, but they know that I'm not doing this for free. They know you're not doing it for free, right? And so what's an unacceptable amount? They're getting what you all agreed upon, right? Again, you can always have unreasonable people, but for the most part, everybody's happy on closing day. The seller's happy because they're getting the money that you all agreed upon. The buyer's happy because they're getting it at the price that you all agreed upon, the closing attorney or title company because they're going to collect their fees. And guess who else is happy? YOU got my check. Boom. But again, it's always possible people be tripping about it, but you just say, hey, Mr. Seller, that's what we agreed upon. I'm not doing this for free. What would have been an acceptable amount for me to make?
Okay, so I've seen a few questions like this from YouTube. It says, could it be with any house that has a for sale sign, or should I just start calling any house that looks beat up? So I think they're confused on like what kinds of houses they should be targeting.
Okay, so what type of houses should you be targeting? So the name of the game is finding great deals, finding motivated sellers. Now, properties with for sale signs in the yard, a lot of times those are listed with real estate agents. Ideally, for newbies, I don't recommend targeting those for a number of reasons that I have other videos on. The main reason is that the realtor is going to control so much of the deal in most cases. And it's more difficult to get a great deal when an agent is involved because you all are at a beginning resistance, an automatic resistance, because the agent is paid from commission, off commission. The more the house sells for, the more money they make. The cheaper you get the house, the more you make. So you all are automatically bumping head. It's a versus situation going on. Like Shaka Khan and Stephanie Mills, it's not good. And so that was terrible. And so you saw it, Jessica?
I did.
It was terrible. Why they let her do that? And they know she got issues.
Maybe they thought she was gonna be good that night.
But anyway, she ain't got she don't got nobody care about her.
At all. Well, they probably do. She probably stubborn.
I wouldn't even never known about it. She wouldn't have never known about it.
Well,
and Stephanie needs to be ashamed of herself too. They know, the people in the industry know what's going on with each other. I don't know what she is. I just know that was terrible. But anyway, you don't agree?
It was.
Okay. They should have.
She had fun though.
I'm sure she did. She always having fun. That's the problem. But anyway, y'all already got me off track.
She had a great
So technically the best deals are the deals that no one else knows about but you. Now, a lot of ways to find deals, but whenever you can find a deal that is not for sale, they call it off market. And my definition of off market is that if I Google the address, it's not for sale anywhere on the internet, right? Mm-hmm. Now, going back to the signs, now there could be a for sale by owner sign in the yard, and that property is not advertised on the internet anywhere. You're going to have those type of sellers. Now, definitely you want to at least reach out to them and see what the situation is. You can Google the address. If you Google the address, that first 1 or 2 pages of results you don't see on any of the websites listed as Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, HomeSnap. I don't see HomeSnap as much as I used to. What else we got out there? Trulia. Then you're probably good on the for sale by owner. All right. So you reach out to them or whatever, and the numbers work or they don't. Now, the reason you say beat up houses, we target beat up, what appears to be a beat up house, is because there may be some motivation there for the seller to sell cheap because of the condition of it and what it's going to cost to repair it. Now, trust me, you can see some of the worst houses you ever want to see, and the seller be in total la-la land when it comes to price. So that doesn't automatically guarantee by no means that it's going to be an opportunity, but you don't know until you reach out to them. So you're looking for motivated sellers no matter what the reason is. It can be a beautiful house and someone be highly motivated to sell it cheap. Not as likely as the one that's beat up, but that exists too. A lot of times, well, in most cases, all the time, life creates motivated sellers. Someone's going through a divorce. The house may be beautiful. They can't afford it anymore, but it has a lot of equity in the house, or there may be some other opportunities there based on the situation. Relocation, job loss or income loss, medical bills, tired landlords, just tired of dealing with people not paying them and having to repair the house each time he has to evict someone. A tired landlord could be a number of reasons there. So it's going to be all types of reasons people will be motivated to sell. Is Your job as a wholesaler is doing an effective job of letting people know you exist. That's why we talk about banner signs, cold calling, text messaging, door knocking, direct mail, Facebook ads, text, what is it called, Google ads, YouTube pre-rolls, even TikTok ads, and so on. It's all Instagram ads. You know, you're putting your message out there in front of people that you buy houses. You just let the numbers play out at that point.
Okay. This one is from Unrisha Pruitt. She said, what if I can't find an investor quickly after the assignment is completed?
What if they can't find an investor quickly after the assignment is completed?
Yeah.
What if they can't find an investor after the assignment is completed? Well, I think you're confusing the contract, the purchase and sales agreement, with the assignment contract. If the assignment was completed, that means you did find an investor. So I think you're confusing the purchase and sales agreement with the seller, and you can't find a buyer for it. So what happens? That's
what she means. Yeah.
So, and the time runs out. So a couple of things. You go back to the seller and ask them for more time, and they give it to you, hopefully with a discount, or you go back to the seller and they don't. If they don't, and you're outside of your due diligence period, which it should be in your contract, then you have to divvy up the earnest money amount, which is normally $10 to $100. Yeah, I guess we'll take a couple more before we get into the topic.
All right, this is on TikTok. What's your opinion on the BRRRR method?
The BRRRR method. So that's BRRRR, I think. So it's buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. You know, that's where a lot of people run their operation. So you're basically buying a piece of real estate, you renovate it, you rent it out, you refinance it to get your money out. Get your money back plus what you spend in it to renovate it, plus maybe some extra, and then you redo the same, you repeat. So yeah, you know, that's how people build some serious portfolios and some wealth, acquiring real estate that way. So yeah, it's a good thing. But a lot of people can't start out that way because most people don't have the money to buy it. Most people don't have the money on top of buying it to renovate it. A lot of people don't have the credit even after they rent it out. So wholesaling is a gateway to that if that's what you want, if you're not in a situation to do that. And I really recommend just starting wholesaling, even if you have the resources to do that right now, because what wholesaling is going to do that doesn't automatically teach you is finding a great deal. If you can consistently find great real estate deals, you don't ever have to be broke. So so we say we're going into the topic. What you got, Ken? You got another one?
We got 5 questions.
Okay, so all right, let's keep rolling with the questions before we go into the topic.
All right, this is also on TikTok. Is it true you need hard money loan to finance a wholesale deal?
No, the whole purpose of wholesaling is that you don't have to bring any money to the table to close it. Now, your buyer may use a hard money loan to buy the house, but for you to buy the house, to do a wholesale deal, no, a hard money loan is not required. Again, that's where your buyer steps in to that's where your buyer may use that as a source to purchase the property, which doesn't matter to you as long as you get paid. However, they come with the money. So, right. and most hard money lenders are okay with wholesale transactions. Let me explain what hard money is. Good insight, Oksana. Hard money is a form of private lending, I guess you would say, that they're not going to make you jump through the same hoops that banks make you jump through, right? But the trade-off to that is that they're normally only going to give you 6 months, 12 months, maybe 18 months to pay them back. And the interest rate that they're charging is going to be a lot higher than what you would get from a bank, assuming you had that type of credit from a bank. They make it easier for you to get the money, but the trade-off is you have to pay them back quickly, relatively speaking, in most cases, and the interest rate is higher. So it's just a cost of doing business or whatever. So.
All right, this is on Instagram. What is a good tool to use to determine the ARV value?
Around here we use Digulator aka PropStream, and I have a video that breaks that down into detail. All you have to do is text the letters ARV, which is means after repair value. Basically, what would the house appraise for next condition? You must know this to know if you have a good deal or not, a great deal or not.
All right, what's your most effective way to find cash buyers?
Well, technically having a great deal and marketing that deal, you can only sell it to one person. But if it's a really good deal and you putting it out there on the different websites, Facebook groups, Marketplace, Craigslist, signs in the area, you can only sell it to one person, but you may have 10 to call you. Those other 9, you can collect their information for possibly future deals. When I say their information, obviously their name, contact info, their phone number, email, how many do they buy per month, what areas they like to buy in, what price range, what minimum number of bedrooms and bath they like to deal with, condition they like to deal with, and so on. You slowly build a buyer's list that way. Now, I have a video that allows you to do that pretty much from anywhere. If you text the word buyers to the 205-964-5243, that video will explain more. I'm gonna go ahead and go into the topic, okay? All right, so the topic today, probably the number one question, would you all say this is the number one question we get?
Yeah.
Where do I start? Yeah. All right, so let's, I'm just take you back to my own experience first for just a Cliff's Notes version of that is, oh, that got hot. Turn that down right there. That girl done got hot. Yeah, turn it down. Yeah. All right. So where do I start? So when I started, when I got just totally locked in, and some of it was luck. Well, all of it was luck in the sense of bless, however you want to say it. Number one, I didn't know it existed. Right, wholesaling. My friend got me interested in just creative ways of investing in real estate from a real estate class he and his now wife were taking. And the guy that normally showed up, he wasn't there. And the substitute talked about making money with real estate with no money. But I still didn't know. He mentioned it to me because he knew I was a wannabe entrepreneur from college on what he mentioned to me, but I didn't act on it. A couple of months later, saw an infomercial, got interested, went to a website, asked the question, does it really work? One person replied, hey, you should look up this guy, right? Bought the course, a bootleg copy of the course, let me just say that, and listened to it. So once I listened to the course, guess what I did? I took action. I did what the course said do. So that's where I started. So what I understood was, and this is simple, I think, for anyone, is that, yeah, you can understand the process, but nothing is going to happen unless you take action. And the action in this business is one or two things, or you can do them at the same time. Either start reaching out to actual investors / cash buyers to see what they want to buy, or you go out and find great real estate deals. So now how are you going to accomplish that? So how are you going to accomplish that? That's what I'm always talking about. It's different ways of generating leads, which I sort of mentioned in the earlier part of this video, is that you're going to generate daily leads through driving for dollars, through cold calling, through text messaging, through direct mail, through Facebook ads, through Google ads, even door knocking, through other wholesalers, which is probably the least expensive, where it costs you $0 to do that if you just wholesale other wholesalers' properties. So the name of the game is lead generation. How many people are you talking to on a daily basis that are, number one, own real estate, and also want to sell real estate? From that point, it has to just turns into a numbers game there, that at some point, even if you're the worst negotiator in the world, you're going to get someone to know, hey, you're going to get someone that says, yes, I'll accept this price, or give you a price that works for you. Now, how do you know what price works for you? That's part of the training or the information as far as when you're educating yourself is determining what's a great deal or not. You have to be able to recognize that. Some of you all probably have had opportunities hit you in the face, but because you didn't do your homework on what's a great deal or not, you didn't even know it was. But I do know what does happen more than anything, because most don't do the homework on knowing what's a deal or not. You chase a lot of stuff that has no chance of being a deal. And that's what runs most people out of this business before they even do a deal, is because you didn't get that part of it, that you didn't understand what makes a great deal or not. That is everything. But guess what? Your boy got you. I share how to do that with you for free. Text the letters GD to the number 205-964-5243. That video is a foundation video to show you what makes a great deal or not. The GD stands for great deal. Also ARV, because that's part of what helps you to understand what's a great deal. Text the letters ARV. Guess what? Also have a calculator to help you with that. Text the letters DC for deal calculator, DC. Guess what? You need a repair calculator also to help you with that. Text the letters RC. But in that GD video, it's going to explain how to use both of those. So boom, where do I start is, number one, obviously you need to educate yourself. But once you educate yourself, there's no steps or anything. The steps are choosing what form of marketing or lead or advertising or lead generation is going to best fit me and my situation as far as my resources and my time and knowing me as a person, as a person. You real restless. What's wrong? Okay, all right. You good? You good? Okay.
All right, this one says, if you were to find a distressed building out of state, do you use your current buyer or do you have to contact the local buyer for that state?
In most cases, you're going to most of the time the buyer is going to be local to that area. In most cases.
All right, this one's from Jacqueline on Facebook. She said, "This is a question about the units. You gave all the info except the price range.
Doesn't matter if it's a deal. Doesn't matter, Jacqueline. And what Jacqueline is referring to, I said text the word units, and in that video I explained that we're looking out for self-storage, mainly mom and pop operations. And she's asking me what price range. Doesn't matter if the numbers make sense.
All right, this one is from YouTube. They said, "How much do you think it costs to start up a text campaign?"
If you do it properly, between $400 to $500 to start up one. It won't be that every month. It'll be closer to maybe $200 or so every month, maybe right around $250. But it's only going to take one deal for you cover that for the next 2 or 3 years. So.
All right, is it better to use government as a buyer? Example, using the urban development.
No. You know the hoops you'll probably have to jump through to get the government to buy a house from you. That's part of the reason why people get into politics. It's those departments, so they can hook themselves up or they homeboys or whoever vote. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the reason why they get into politics. Those departments. It ain't to help you. It's to get paid. They may have good intentions once they get in there, but one day somebody gonna pull them to, well, come here, let me talk to you for a minute. This ain't how this work, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to stay up there, this is what you need to do.
We're gonna get the door knocked tonight.
Good. Come on in. Got a bag? Come on in. Got a check?
All right.
I won't ever say it again.
This is on TikTok. Is it slow to wholesale now in Georgia?
No. That's a simple answer. No.
All right. What app do you use to send text campaigns? And this is on TikTok.
I am a partner, but a daily user of Batch Leads. But if you text the word text to the number 205-964-5243, I'll show you how to set all of that up.
All right, this is on Instagram. Do you bring contracts to the seller to sign when you go see the property?
That's old school. I used to, but I didn't know any better. They got this wonderful tool called the internet. Plus, I'm being funny, but I'm trying to. You don't want to do that for a couple of reasons. So now if you bring a contract with you, a lot of people said, I go to your website, I can't download a blank one. I told you in the video you weren't going to be able to do that. Anyway, so the reason you don't do that is now sometimes you're not going to have a choice. Some people are just not going to sign it electronically. They do want it in hand. But most people are cool with that because it's simple for them too. But if you bring a contract with you, guess what you got to do now? Explain it all right there in front of them. It's a lot easier to explain it over the phone if it comes to that than right there in front of me. You don't know the answer to something. If you don't know the answer on the phone, you say, right, let me speak to my part. I'll get right. Whatever. It's just a lot of different conversation. You don't want to do that unless that's just the only way they'll sign it is right in front of you. No. You want to let technology work for you. It's okay. It got some bad things, but it got some good things too. Let it work for you in a positive way, like a payday.
All right, this one is from Bree on YouTube. She said, how can I find good comps when the most recent sold properties closed are distressed, but they still sold over 200K? Should I still use them?
Bree, I would have to look at that. When you say they're still distressed, so there were no properties that were renovated or close to retail. Look, they don't always have to be renovated. You know, people just keep their properties up, and they don't have they're constantly renovating. Let me just say that while they're living there. So there's nothing that's sold that looks really good. So I would have to look at what you're looking at to answer that question. It's sort of hard to answer now. Just answering it on the surface, recently sold properties closed are distressed, but they still sold over $200,000. Well, if they were cash transactions, then that's probably going to be your threshold. If most of them are selling around 200, a little less, a little more, then that means you're going to probably have to get them at 150 or below so you can make some money off of it. If that's the situation, if they were cash deals.
All right, let's see.
Oh, well, she don't have it on the contract. She just evaluating it.
Oh,
yeah. We dismembered that program. Don't do that. Oh no, the video when they get there, tell them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What is she doing to me?
All right, this one says. This one says, couldn't the seller just find a buyer themselves?
Of course. A lot of them do that. But you're the buyer. They did. They found you or you found them. You are the buyer. You're not going to them and say, hey, I'm going to find you a buyer. You are the buyer. The contract says you are. In that time frame that you're supposed to buy it, it is legal for you to assign it. You are the buyer. They did find one. They found you.
Period. All right. This one says, so once we find the seller, what do we tell them? Let's get under contract.
Well, that conversation is going to happen. But this is normally the way that shit go, right? You went and looked at a property. All right, so you're just not going to say, let's get it on the contract. You went and looked at a property, or however you viewed it, however it was viewed, maybe the virtual or whatever. You all discuss price. The price works for you. The price works for them. This is what you say. What's your email address so I can send you over an agreement so we can start the buying process? That's how that's handled.
This one says, I started putting my signs out yesterday. I wish everybody good luck. And
hey,
good luck to you.
Hit me up. Got my check flip, man.
This one says, can I still use your number?
What? I'm not sure what they mean.
The phone number that you have out there, I guess. Do you mean to call or to send the text?
205-964-5243. You know. Yeah, that's always that's ready to go, man.
All right. This one said, This from Jose Ramirez. He said, "Are there any books, tactics, scripts when you're cold calling to homeowners and how to overcome nervousness before calling?"
Yes. Are there any scripts out there to give you some guidance on what to say? Yes. Text the word script to the 205-964-5243. That video will do just that. It'll help you along the way. Now, as far as getting over your nervousness, part of that is knowing what you're doing, right? And that's where educating yourself about the process will remove some of that. Now, because you may never have done it before, I don't care how much education you have, you still may be nervous at it, right? And just uncomfortable with that process. But understand at the end of the day, and this is the attitude you need to develop, but humbly, that is a word, right?
Humbly.
That's not a word.
Humbly.
Yeah. Is
Not
that
humbly.
spell it?
HUMBLY.
But you need to develop the attitude that you have $10 million in the bank and you don't care if they do it or they don't. If they don't want to do it the way you want to do it, guess what? This should be your favorite word. Next. Nicely, but and humble. That's why I use that in the beginning of that word before I start talking.
Yeah, because they might even call you back. And
So you want to build rapport with them, right? But you still need to develop that attitude and just understand that most people you talk to are not going to work with you and sell you at a price that works for you. So if you get the right expectations, it's hard to be disappointed. If you have the right expectations on things, it's hard to be disappointed. Problem as humans, we have some real expectations on a lot of different things, and that's when our little feelings get hurt. Ask me how I know.
All right, this one is from Deja Jones. She said, "Hello, I'm a tenant and I keep getting calls about the purchase of the house I'm currently residing. What should I do? If there's anything I can do? Am I listed as the owner? Please help me."
That's an interesting question. What's her name? Deja?
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Jones. That's an interesting question. She's the tenant, but they're calling her and not the owner. Now, somehow the skip tracing, whatever they're using, has cross-referenced your mailing address and your actual physical address where you live as you being the owner. Now, I would ask them how much they're willing to pay, right? The next time they call you, have the conversation, have it for a couple of reasons, for your own personal experience, because you're here watching this, so obviously you're interested in it. I can assure you it's more than likely a wholesaler or someone calling for them. See how much they're willing to pay, all right? And from there, ask the owner, or you may not want to do it. I don't know what type of relationship with the owner, whatever, whether good or bad, they may not think you can pay for it or whatever. So if you think they think that, then you get someone else to reach out to the owner, because you have their contact information, I'm assuming, unless you're dealing directly with a property management company. But if you're dealing directly with the owner as the landlord, have someone else to reach out to them and say, hey, would you be interested in selling this property, right? If they are, hopefully they give you all the price that's less than what the people are calling you about. You may have a deal there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Find out where the money is and where it's going. You stand in the middle, you can get paid a lot. You stand in the middle with that purchase and sales agreement. Boom.
Boom. All right, this one says, "Flip man, can you be my buyer?"
We can work on that, depending what you got. What we need? 50, text the letters, the numbers, 5050 to 205-964-5243. Let's see what's up.
This is on Instagram. How often do have you JV on deals, and do you like teaming up with other wholesalers?
Yeah, that's what I just quoted. Yes, we trying every day. We trying to get y'all to know what deals are, though. We can make a lot of money together. Got my check. We have a lot of got my checks.
All right, this one came from DY the trucker. He said, how can I email your contract to a seller?
Oh, good question, sir. Great technical question that's going to be a little difficult for me to explain, but I'm going to try. Once you fill out that contract on dealator.com, right? Now you have a professional looking contract document in hand, right? You can download it to your laptop or PC. Don't try to do this on the phone. Don't try to do this on the phone. Once you have that downloaded, now you can use a website like DocuSign to create an electronic signature for you and yourself. Once you do your part, it allows you to sign it electronic with just a click, click, click. It automatically sends it to the seller's email address. They open it, and guess what? It tells them to say, to sign, click here. Boom. You all have a signed document that they can download on their end and on your end. So both of you all have signed copies that now you're off to the races to go find a buyer. So once it's set up with the buyer, it's signed, however you all do yours. Now that's something that you'll simply email over to a title company or closing attorney, hopefully with my closing details sheet, which allows you to explain who's the seller, who's the buyer, who's paying what, who's getting what, which is you, who's paying closing costs. Boom.
All right. This one says, can you get a list of pre-foreclosures at the courthouse and title company?
Can you get a pre-foreclosure list at the title? At the closing. Yeah. Can you get a pre-foreclosure list at the courthouse and title company? Depending on your courthouse and the county and how they operate, they may be able to provide a source online or a printed document with upcoming auctions. As far as the title company, some may provide that information. It doesn't hurt to ask. Offers are free. Asking is free.
You have not because you asked not.
That's a good one. Asking is free. Which is better, offers are free or asking is free?
Offers are free.
Okay.
This one says, what is the best dialer?
I'm a reseller of Bass Leads. I have to
think about it.
No. I have to know what I was going to say. So if you want access to that dialer, just text me, Ty, send me the dialer. So batch dialer is the best.
All right.
What up, Jesse?
This is a good question. How do you get good at comping properties to the point where I can look at a house and know it's a deal? Well, you'll never be able to do that because you need to know the numbers.
How do you get good? How do you get great at comping properties to the point where I can look at a house and know it's a deal? Now you yeah, you could do that. Yeah, that's where you're going to get. So Jamil and I have over 40 episodes of Comps 101. Go to YouTube and do a search for Flip Man Comps 101. And know you should be able to access those videos. But what you can also do is text ARV to 205-964-5243. And in that video, I explain, how to comp properties. But definitely check out the episodes with Jamil and I. Hopefully we'll do more in the near future.
All right. This one says, I'm new to this. So after you get the buyer and the seller to agree to the property, how long do you have to find a buyer? And what happens if you can't find a buyer in time? Oh, we answered this. Does the contract void?
Okay, so man says, how long, say once you have, I guess what he's asking, how long does it take? How much time do you have once you get a seller to agree and then you all sign a contract? All right, normally you don't want to do anything less than 30 days. Normally between 30 to 45 days. I'm going to try to do maybe about 35 to 40 days normally with a contract, right? And from that point, your clock has started trying to find a buyer. Now, in my one-page contract that I give away for free that you can access by texting the word contract to the 205-964-5243, it has a section in there for due diligence period. So I normally do 21 days of maybe the 30 or 40 days that I'm contracting the property for as far as a closing date. So in that time frame, that's when you find a buyer. Now, if you can't find a buyer, if you can't find a buyer and you're beyond the due diligence period, then you're going to lose your earnest money deposit that you put up. Normally between $10 to $100 will work. Normally, sometimes people may want more, but normally most motivated sellers don't trip about it. So you go back to the seller and ask them for more time. They give it to you, hopefully with a price reduction, or you go back to the seller and they don't. Again, if you're outside of your due diligence period, they're do that earnest money deposit. You all go your separate ways.
All right, we haven't got this question, so I'm excited about this one.
What?
All right, this is on TikTok. This person is setting up their LLC. It said, what percentage of my wholesale proceed needs to be put aside to pay my taxes?
30%. I'm not a CPA, but 30% should suffice.
All right, this is on TikTok. Suggestions on how to get letter of guaranteed funds.
I guess he means proof of funds.
Oh, okay. When you're doing a deal.
I'm affiliated with a service that does offer proof of funds. Now, if you want to do that, that's fine. Normally, you only need proof of funds because you're targeting listed properties or wholesalers that are in La La Land, right? So you can text me about proof of funds, and I'll gladly send you over, the link to that service or whatever. But I don't know of any free proof of funds, so it's a paid service. It's a paid service. I don't recommend targeting properties that require proof of funds. Okay.
All right. I don't have anything right
All right. We answered a lot of questions. So, guys, I really appreciate everyone participating this afternoon. Remember, you can ask your questions. If you didn't get your question answered, you can always ask them in the comment section of any of my YouTube videos. Remember, small towns are in play. So text the word units. Let's partner up on some of these self-storage facilities. Text it to the number. Don't know what a great deal is? Text the letters GD to this number also. You want to partner, just text 5050, partner on houses, text 5050. And if you sign up for PropStream, you're going to start your new year off right, get the right tools in place. If you sign up through diglater.com, we will train you on how to use it for free. So text the word time to 205-964-5243. I guess we'll be back tomorrow. So this topic for today was where to start. Hopefully I answered that. And remember, you get paid, text me, got my check, flip man. Hey, we can do something. And we'll see you guys on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. Now you know 205-964